Hello, folks. Welcome back for an episode of Friends Journey to Legendary. This was going to be a Schwaaard Journey to Legendary. I will get into the details of that in a minute, but we are jumping into the fray with Beast of Burden 86. Have not been able to spectate him before, so I'm looking forward to it. I was going to do my own stuff today, but when I queued into the game, there were 11 people playing, so I was like, I can't pass up this opportunity. Half the time when I get in here, it's crickets. So let's see. We've got Beast of Burden running a scout deck, scout gobos. Looks pretty straightforward in that regard. We see, Mournhold Trader is probably going to grace the board along with, could be Bloody Hand. Three Feather could trigger Bloody Hand if he does put it down. Could benefit him, I should say. I'm looking over here. The reason,
Speak, citizen.
All right. The Oreo comes down, the lover of Oreos, which isn't great for a deck like this, so yep. I'm a little surprised he came into the field lane there, only just for the possible chance of contesting the 3-3, but certainly Gobos are going to gob. They're just going face.
You are the victim.
And that's what you get. Alrighty, we're jumping into Jshadz against the Psychotic Mind. A little bit into the game, but not terribly far. Nothing really has been decided. Jshadz definitely has the life and board advantage. Just a little bit off on the cards in hand. 7-3 is probably going to get the silence, I would imagine. Don't know what Oreo had that made her so big and bulky. What did she get? I'm sure there's a way to see, but I don't want to obscure the board as of right now. I'm guessing Temple Conjurer breaks a rune, might see East Marched and Shriveled Mummy.
We'll hold, no matter what.
And that is indeed what we see. PSA from, I just saw the comment from Brave Cariad there. If you haven't seen her Spotlight video, I would recommend checking it out. It's a lot of fun. But she was saying she's having that problem again. So if any of you have had that problem, and I think I mentioned it in the other video, where you aren't able to play anything, that's not as rare as you would like to think. It does happen. Definitely want to stop playing the game on ladder anyway. Try to plug away at it casual, like take yourself out of the game, come back in, try it on casual, see if the problem goes away before you try to tackle ladder. Because the last thing you want is to be either queued into a game or be winning a game, even worse, and end up losing it or conceding it because you can't play a card. So I just want to put that out there. But Jshadz now, hand is dwindling, but his onboard presence is growing. Speaking of which, that is pretty much worst case scenario. A lot of his cards are not going to survive this mix-up here. Alright, so the Mummy goes away. East March will survive. And what is she called again? I can't remember. Flame Slinger survives. Alright, so he keeps his board alive. Not too bad. Hoping to goodness, man. The naked Bretons, man, they're such a huge swing. If they get executed or removed, as we saw in the other game, devoured, that's a heartbreak. But at the same time, trying to wait until you have a way to trigger him, or using a lightning bolt to trigger, and so we will see the Cursed Spectre come down. Breton will not get any love on that. Nobody wants to see Frost Atronach played, apparently, which is cruel. All right, so we'll probably see the 1-2 trade into the 1-1 or no, we'll see Breton. Oh! There goes the 4-1. All right, well, Breton will probably sacrifice his life with the 1-1.
Speak, citizen.
And Temple Conjurer.
Speak,
no! Okay,
citizen.
all right. I guess that is, so 6 damage. Temple Conjurer would have been 7, but... And I don't think there's any benefit particularly to that, other than... let's see, Lightning Bolt takes care of those if he so desires. What is Wake the Dead gonna pull? puppers. Okay, making the 4/6 all the more resilient. Jshadz, I have to think, is hoping for that's. I mean, it allows Morgul allows the 1/2 and a 3/3 to trade, and he can still play the Temple Conjurer to fill up the board. Jshadz continuing to train up at 49. Has Psychotic Mind down to 8. Lethal on board. He just needs 4 damage to connect. To close this game out. But who knows what nefarious countermeasures Psychotic Mind has. Apparently we caught Psychotic, my goodness gracious. Psychotic Mind on the off foot. Typically when you see skeletons, and particularly that card in the Skeleton Champion, the deck is supposed to be more aggro oriented. I think Jshadz maybe just got the drop on him. All he needs is for 1 card to connect in that right in the shadow lane, and this game is over. Risen Dead will be a guard coming down into the shadow lane, and if that's it, then this game is Jshadz. Especially with the douche. I don't know if that makes a difference. That's 2, 4. Yeah, no, the douche is negligible. Cracks with 2/2. Lightning bolt to the face. Well done, Jshadz. Sweet! We have caught Mark early enough in a game for it to count, although we may actually, as I'm looking at Zarlbrow, I'm looking at the condition of the board at the moment, it doesn't look like this game is going to go on for very long. Zarlbrow only with 3 cards in hand. Marxist with the advantage in that regard. I could be underestimating things. I could be calling it wrong. Obviously, we'd all like to see a good game. Mark prevailing in the end, of course, but let's see what ends up happening. All right, so it looks like we've got a Skelly / perhaps undead build.
Done.
The hist revives.
Mark, we usually see, or I'm used to seeing in the past as, Control Empire. Looks like he is finding his way through Telvanni control, I believe. Although I don't know, is Mighty Conjuring a control card? I wonder if this is more mid-rangey. I mean, obviously it's great for control, but typically you see that as kind of a high end of a mid-range deck. So this may not be control, but seeing things like Galen and Fingers, Thorn, Hist Mage, those are all typically cards we're going to see for a longer burn. And he has not hit Zarlbrow. Hopefully I'm getting that right. It might be okay if it's French. I might be kind of close. Zarlbrow. Zarlbrow. I don't know. I'm done trying. Interesting too. It's always nice to see consume. This is consume, right? Is that expertise? That is consume. So kind of a consume undead combo there. Not entirely sure how comfortable the Argonians are being dragged into such a deck, but that's just what happens in the game, So yeah, the great tragedy befell me. If I do play in the future, you will see that I'm rank 4, and I actually recorded that climb. I took my Crusader deck. Who was it? Bridge Bleeds. Oh, are we not friends yet? No, Brother Ridge. There it is. Brother Ridge, let me know. He actually did very well in the gauntlet, so shout out to Brother Ridge, who actually got, I think he got 2 games, 2 gauntlet. In this last gauntlet where you could run any deck you wanted, he had 2 runs where he got 9 wins, which is phenomenal. And I think he said he ran an Empire Token Empire. Kind of went wide with the board. So I thought, you know what, maybe the time is right to bring back Token Crusader. And I did, and sure enough it is. I went straight from the first star on rank 5 and straight up through rank 4 with one loss against Ebon Dragons, which are now a thing. We got Doomcrag getting into the fray. It's getting ugly. It's fun in concept. It's great to hear about. It's great to build one yourself. It sucks to play against, especially when you're tokens, and Wildfire can come down and just wipe the board. But yeah, so an amazing game.
Victory is yours.
And there we go. We do have kind of the expected result there. Back in with Jshadz, near enough to the beginning, finishing up the story. Had the whole thing recorded. There was nothing amazing about it. It's Crusader, so it's aggro. I didn't have a whole lot of mix-ups. We did have a lot of close games. You know, it came down to, our opponent had kind of turned the corner, got us down. It was like 6-6 health-wise, and we were able to finish it off. So some pretty close games, ones that would have been fun to watch. But unfortunately, when I got done, according to OBS, I had only recorded the very first frame and the very last frame of that entire video. It was a 45-minute video. And for those of you who don't know, like frames, if you think about like a film, films typically are 24 frames per second. So in 1 second, you will see a series of 24 images with just obviously, slight variations in there to show the motion. So even at that, and a lot of games now are done in 60 frames per second. So that's 1/60th of a second, there's a new image. Blackhand Messenger coming down, allowing for a trade with the Headless Zombie, who gets another Vanis Courier. Don't know if we'll see her ringed out against a 1/1. We will.
Words on one so ugly.
Again, you're getting the last gasp. I always get Vanis Courier confused with the other gal, who's a 3 cost, or who's a 1 cost, I think, and does the shackle thing. But Jshadz, we're seeing his. He's finally able to play the 5/5. His poor Breton Conjurer had been getting nuked every single time, unable to bring out the Frost Atronach. We're now finally getting to see it in play. Anyway. Yeah, so essentially I had one frame, essentially 1/10 of a second, and then 1/10 of a second, showing the very beginning when I first started recording, and the very end. Everything else was gone, so it was like 10 kilobytes worth of footage. Very sad, very tragic, especially considering how great of a run it was. But there we are, you can't help it. Like I said, nothing magical happened, but that leaves me here now, and so I was going to play that. I have a Daedra tribal list that I wanted to play. But I came on, I've got 13, 14 people on here. I'm like, oh no, it's too good. I don't need to clunk it up with my games when we can be watching some people do a lot of great things in their climb. It is kind of nice though. Like I'm rank 4 already, first day. Just took. So if any of you are looking to, I don't know how it would hold up now, but more or less your typical Crusader assault with your mercenary captains, your allies.
Your destruction is at hand.
Does pretty well. But to be fair, and I qualified this at the end of my game, we did not hit a Tribunal, we did not hit a Telvanni, we did not hit an Empire. And we didn't really have to race against any aggro decks either. So it was a softball set of games, I'm not going to lie. So that might have colored things, so take what I said with a grain of salt. Not that I'm lying to you, of course, but I really need to focus on what's going on in the game right now because it's about to get spicy. Jshadz with a full hand. Benga 01 also with pretty much a full hand. Telvanni. And he does get the trigger on. Finally, he's got the... Typically, or the past couple games that I've seen, very nice combo there, being able to reward the Breton. No way to break it without... I mean, he could use the Lightning Bolt next turn. Benga's probably hoping for a Sorcerer's Negation. Otherwise, there's really... Or a Shadow Fen. Otherwise, there's really no way to... And he could very well trigger it with that. Doesn't get... Jshadz isn't that lucky. That would have been a charmed life to have that break the ward. Benga might be weighing his options because he's... I'm probably sitting on the Cruel Fire Bloom, but there's 2 targets he decidedly does not want to hit with that. Interesting. Alright, so he's kind of leaning into the Brutal Ashlander mechanic there. Wonder if he's running Soul Split. Is it Soul Split? That's the one where it's creates the 2/3/2s. Can't imagine though. That's not typical of a Telvanni list. That's a little more just straight sorcerer. Alright, so we look at the one card from the Cat's Paw, but a little out of the ordinary, not seeing her trigger. I hate that card. Look at the proportions on his head and his shoulder. His head looks so freaking tiny. I was never a huge fan of the card in general, but the proportions are just ridiculous. Like I don't know how that got by. Like just make the head bigger. Or just shrink the shoulder. Anyway, it's gone now. We're all happy. We can get on with our lives.
No matter what.
Jshadz keeping the card draw going. I'd like to see Scar Drill Master come out. Jshadz, make it happen. You know what? Fine. You just keep playing whatever card you want to play, and don't listen to me, even though you can't hear me at all. I want to see Scar Drill Master, though. She never gets any love.
Out of my sight.
Jshadz slowly eating away at that health total with each turn, but probably not as fast as he wants to go. We'll see if Benga is sitting on Guardians. Okay, he did have a Sorcerer's Negation. I guess that was a recent pull. So he was able to use it to pretty decent effect to whittle down the board. But unless he's sitting on an Ice Storm, looks like Jshadz is at least going to get another 4 points of damage on the board. Wow, what a list. Oh my goodness gracious, really? When's the last time you saw this? This is amazing. So Benga, I just give you a salute for playing cards in Telvanni that we don't ever see. You know, I had my This Is Not Your Mother's Telvanni list. Benga was playing his own version of it. So kudos to him. But it does look like, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's so many targets for that. Unfortunately, the 3-2 is probably the one he wants to hit the most, and he's going to just nail that with a Lightning Bolt. Execute the 1-3? Yeah. No need to pick on an old man just going on a hike. He's already done the damage. He's already pulled a 3-color card. I wonder which one. Debates Experiments. I'm trying to think of another 3 attribute. Swims in shadows or frolics in sewage. I don't know. The Argonian that pulls an action could be. That's the only 3 other than Debates Experiments. That's the only 3 color I can think of. There we go. Maybe that was the one. Yes, because it's discounted. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's the one I pulled. Okay. Another negation. We've seen 2 of them already. Does he have the third? I guess he's going to try to pull the third one to avoid damage. Knocking him down to 8, getting him really close. Problem is, Benga, with that list. Okay. He sacrifices the 1-3. I was about to say that's the tricky part because I was going to trigger a rune break, but he's on top of it.
Speak, citizen.
Jshadz, total of 9. Could possibly do next turn. Not enough. Can get rid of Aelid Guardian if Benga's sitting on one of those. They're very popular these days. All the rage. Big stony Guardians. Doesn't want to hit face, I'm sure. Out of those 6 cards, what do you have, sir? Another atrociously not proportionate. At least the cloud is covering his ridiculous. If you can't see the shoulder, it doesn't look too bad. The hands look like they're about proportionate with the face. All right, he's going to Ice Storm. I mean, it's something, but it's not great. Doesn't stop the Drill Master from doing her thing. Although we know she's only going to pull a Ward Crafter because right now that's all Jshadz has in his hand. Maybe he'll try something bigger. Another Cruel Fire Bloom? Where's Cruel Fire Blooms? And the RNG is with him.
Potions,
and he's able to take out the Drill Master, unfortunately. I don't like seeing Cruel Fire Bloom rewarded the RNG when you've got, it's a 50-50 target. It's just not my thing. Hey, Aspect of her scene, fantastic. Pull, that's still only 7. He's going to be 1 off. Oh, okay, well no, sorry, now he's 2 off. Probably see the charge here, yep. Alright, now I don't know his decks, I'm not sure what oops. other reach he might have in his hand. We know the 4/3s. The Oreo Gal is going to go, probably taken out by the less than proportionate Navigator.
I fly like the wind and the
And
shadows.
it looks like Benga is going to gamble on... Does he have another Cruel Fireball? How many of those has he played? He's only played 2, so he may have a third one. Jshadz has the removal if the big guard comes down. Benga looks like he's looking for answers.
Nothing more.
And he's not able to exalt Sothasil, so I think Sotha is just a 4/4. Incredibly sad. He is probably the saddest non-exalt, or not non-exalted god that there is in the game. The smallest body. I mean, at least Vivek, if you play him on curve, he's a 5/5 for 5, I think. That's not bad, but... Oh, goodness gracious. Wow. Kudos to Benga for the motley assortment of cards here. I do think it's to his detriment. Perhaps... I mean, you never know. It could be trying something new. Could be just trying to mix things up a little bit. I'm always in favor of that. Try different things. But I do think we also see kind of the result of that. And Jshadz comes away with a grind against Telvanni. Alrighty, we're jumping in with Yukinu. Yukinu. I knew I should have asked how to pronounce your name. He actually just came on to the Discord. So we officially, I guess, met just this morning, actually. And he sent a friend request, and happy to invite him. As I am with anybody, if you don't see me, if I don't accept your request, mostly likely because I haven't seen it yet. Little close-up of Sank Pet. It is considered furry and cute by some. I'm actually not seeing a heck of a lot of fur on this particular version, but that's okay. The venom dripping from it is adorable. So yeah, so apparently Yukinu and I met earlier in the season, I think way back, several seasons ago, during my ladder climb. So it's pretty cool to have that come full circle.
I slay the unworthy.
All right, so he's up against the Leyendal. Always amazing. Hail, Yukinu. I will go ahead and say hello really quick.
A little distraction might
Let's see. Alright. Don't want to obscure the game board too much here. Now that's not giant bat. What is this one called? Blighted werebat. That's something you don't see very often. I wouldn't expect necessarily with the Ebonheart cards. Ebon is, I think we're going to see that as an outbreak this season. I know Banana Schwaaard and some other folks have been developing Dragon Ebonheart decks, using what's its face? Doomcrag. And that's actually, as I said before, that's the one deck I lost to with my Crusader list. So I think we are seeing this may be the season of the Ebonheart. That was... Yukinu, it says, hello, YouTube. In a pretty good position here. I mean, it sucks giving them cards, but this is a pretty darn strong push here we're going to see. Might have wanted to attack before he put that down, but maybe that was intentional. I don't know. Sometimes it's a happy accident. Sometimes it's forethought. I mean, it does trade favorably with the 4/4, and that I could honestly see that being the strategy because he wants to keep the 7/3 alive. So that was probably brilliant on his part. All I'm always thinking in my head, if I'm on the aggressive, I don't want anything with a guard, but that actually was a brilliant play there. Took me a second to catch up, but I do see the wisdom in it. Because Leyendal was going to get the drain either way, but at least this way he keeps a 7/7 and possibly the 4/5 on board if Leyendal can't buff the bat. But typically if you're playing that bat, you do have a way to buff it, or you have at least another creature. You play a lot of creatures that are going to be 5 power above to give the werebat. Is it werebat? Yeah, werebat. to give that to trigger his two ping to the face. Although that said, at this point, as a control deck on the back foot, it is exciting. It is exciting, doggone it. It's always fun to watch. It just, you never know what's going to happen. Mana Marco. What could he be pulling back? Mark Man? For the guard? Okay, no. Okay, so again, you had somebody else who is smarter than me off the cuff that does allow the favorable trade. But again, Yukinu was successful in keeping his 7-3 alive. And is that 10, 17, 19? Not enough. One short of lethal. But darn it, he's going to get close. And Leyendal is going to have to work really hard with 10 Magicka to keep that 1 damage from getting in. We might see Mark Man come down to block Mana Marco. I mean, Red Year could do it. We do see Red Year in a lot of these decks, and Leyendal has a full hand right now, so he could end up pulling. We could see a drop here. So Yukinu, thinking ahead, is concerned about a Snake Tooth Necklace and Rage. I mean,
Let kind guide
Snake
me.
Tooth alone won't do it. But if we don't see a Red Year or a Rage, I think Yukinu is going to take it with Halalu. Another deck that may be on the rise. We know Denise played it in her Spotlight video. Won on turn 3. It was a concession, but she made such a strong showing that by the time the opponent got to turn 4, they're like, nope, I'm done. So Halalu's good. Oh, no! Leyendal, why? Why, sir? I mean, how hard is it to just have a modicum? Just that much grace. That much.
It has been my honor.
Nicely done. Well done, sir. All right, having a little bit of a hard time trying to get into a game that isn't 5 or 6 turns in. I want to give you as much as possible. Like, this one looks good. We're still low enough. Really, the health totals are still pretty good, and card advantage is about the same. So I think we can settle in for a match between Jshadz, Guildsworn that we saw a little bit earlier today, and Ferdinand Payne 2. The name is familiar to me. Because I remember, is it Ferdinand and Payne 2? Or Ferdinand Payne 2? I think it's the latter. But who knows. Ferdinand, if you're out there, you can let me know which one it is.
I swear vengeance.
Right now, Jshadz with
Training is over.
the hand advantage.
It's time to act.
Arguably also the board advantage. And with the Ice Storm, he may just be hoping that... Okay, nope. I was going to say, he may be hoping that Ferdinand kind of floods the board, but with only 5 Magicka, the likelihood of him being able to do that and make the Ice Storm worthwhile is pretty low. And this may, in fact, bait it out if it comes down to some trades.
Scaleless coward.
Too early for a
You can
Dawn's
defeat
Wrath,
me.
so Ferdinand just looks like he's trying to push. Okay, he does have a way to mitigate, but I think we will see the 3-1 trade over the 5th Legion. Yep.
Nice try. Care to go again?
Jshadz is running a copy of Red Year himself. So I guess well, I mean, we got 3 prophecies in hand, so
Let's knock some heads.
I don't necessarily think we're seeing early aggro. This is probably mid-range control. And Moongate. Haven't really seen any Moongate worthy cards on the board, so that's interesting. Is Jshadz going to break the rune? I think he does here.
Close ranks. Let nothing through.
Well, he says, if I'm going to break the rune, doggone, I'm going to break it big time. We're not just going to dabble. We're going to take you down to 22. Heck, throw a dagger on there too, my friend. Okay. He's not going to go crazy on it. All right, so he's not going to javelin. Oh, he's going to enable his oh gosh, Penitus, which was huge in the games you didn't get to see. Penitus, 2 or 3 turns, really swung the turn, and that is the ideal target for the Moon Gate. And if the general comes down here, that is exponentially worse. But no, because that's going to put the 3/4s out, the 3/3s out of lightning bolt range, isn't it? Is it not? It is. Yep. Man. But in both lanes he can trade, so we're going to see a great Ice Storm here from Jshadz, like the ideal Ice Storm. Obviously it's going to leave virtually nothing on the board. Well done. Well handled. And that was Sea Cities. Ironically, for somebody who actually came away from the Elsewhere gauntlet with a Waxwane assassin, he's like, I'm coming across so many of these Ice Storm, they never expected to run at least 1 or 2 copies of it. I did and got some good results from it. So Jshadz had the right answer for that kind of deck. That for anybody else, that would have probably been close to game over, but not for Jshadz, who has the Ice Storm. He probably is going to struggle against another one at this point. But then again, we're in red year territory, so Ferdinand is going to have his work cut out for him. Although Manticore is going to get Manticored, essentially. That's the other prime target. This feels very much like a game that I would be playing. I feel Jshadz' pain. Maybe Atromancer? Nope, just kidding. I wasn't going to say Atromancer. Oh, discounted Rapid Shot. That is... but I think that is going to eat either a Lightning Bolt or a Piercing Javelin. You don't want that to stick on board. Have the General come down and trigger it again.
Citizen.
So fortunately, Jshadz has a pretty good hand, has a good way to come back from the removal there. Forward camp 1 more, and that's going to be bad news for him, though. And there it is. That's the bad news. 2 5/3s. If it gets big enough, he might just hit face and then red year if Ferdinand continues to play the cards out. Probably not expecting the red year. Although after the Ice Storm, you might go, okay, there's some... Oh, yes, this is going to be a red year to remember. To be sure. Wow.
I didn't come here.
We might see a concede after this. So Jshadz hitting for 2. And then just gleefully dropping that red year. Boom. Great graphic. So Ferdinand, while he has gotten some really choice plays, and he does have a full hand of cards, I mean, he's not out of the game necessarily. He has had 2 hard counters to his... And we saw the same thing when the Ice Storm took out his board. He's like, all right, I'm going to recover for a second. Jshadz pushing the advantage. He is going to be able to, if the Supreme Atromancer sticks, he can play right now 2... He can trigger 2 more hits from her. Ferdinand seems to have her eyed for removal. Still leaves 2 5/3s. Immolating Blast won't help if he's running it. That's a good counter. That's one of those things where I'm thinking through all the options my opponent can have to counter. I'm like, oh, I got this, unless they have X, Y, and Z. But with a Sentinel Battle Mace and Morgul Gatekeeper and Breakthrough, an unshackled Flame Atronach is going to close out the game quite easily, regardless of guards.
There will be sweetness with this one tonight.
Not a guard. Oh, it looks like it's just going to take the Battle Mace. Mace to the face.
I bark and...
Yep. We'll close it out. So yeah, we saw Ferdinand had some really crucial Moongate triggers and some support triggers, but Jshadz with the right answers. jumping in what is probably going to be a fantastic match between Beast of Burden 86, who has changed up. I believe Beast of Burden, if I'm not mistaken, was running Scout Gobos last time we saw, but now seems to be running a Pilfer Movement Monk against Evil 5, who is a top 10 Legends player with a spiffy, awesome card back that is the envy of myself and many people.
You will die where you stand.
So we'll see who prevails. Another Moon Gate, although this one is a premium, so it probably works a little bit better. But Beast of Burden, no slash there. He's got the beautiful Dune Smuggler there. I've been debating crafting this because obviously it's a 400 cost, I think, to get the premium. Oh, but I've just had so many bad experiences with movement decks. But to be honest, it's been a while. I haven't gotten shellacked by one in quite a bit.
Will enjoy feasting on your
So this I expect this to be a pretty good game. To see it kind of going back and forth here because they seem. I mean, it's a mirror match, obviously, in terms of attributes. I'm guessing they're pretty equal. Although Evil 5 is not movement as much as support.
Move in shadow.
And has the answers. Slight board advantage. Is probably trying to break that rune so he can get value from those not the training camps, forward camps.
Must keep moving.
Get some nice value. Beautiful. I mean, that is probably. I mean, really, it's just the lantern light and the sky behind him, but the combined effect just really looks spectacular. Anywho. Swift Strike in hand. We know how fast that can snowball. Especially we've got Shadow Shift, Dune Stalker. We could get the is it a Disciple? Descendant. Descendant. Get her up pretty quick, but don't want to overlook what Evil 5 is doing here. Or maybe it's supposed to be Evils? I don't know. Evil 5 kind of sounds like a comic book villain cadre. Plenty of ripe execute targets if Evil's got the general in hand. Obviously, those are going to go crazy. Be interesting to see if Beast of Burden, because I don't play this kind of deck, so just curious to see if there's any inclination whatsoever to trade. Doesn't look like it. And that's one of the best, if not the best, attribute he could have gotten on the Descendant. Kind of surprised he didn't shift her over to the Shelling. Okay, going with the Swift Strike. Regenerate, another great attribute. That investment obviously is going to take a hit if Evil has a Javelin. Okay, so he does play a little bit around the general, takes out half of the value there.
This one will be going.
But Evil is gonna push in. These are the games that I find interesting when it really comes down to like both players are pursuing. They're going for face. They're going for lethal, and it's just a matter of who's able to race and who's able to. And there's the piercing javelin, and that's the. I'm not gonna say that'll do it. Let's see. 6, 10, 12, 14, 15.
Through peace, ferocity.
So we're probably going to see Bewildering Speed. Alright, takes out the other half of the general value, if there was going to be any. I don't think the general would have been the turn on this particular play. So he did succeed in putting Evil on the back foot, and that prophecy is going to be a big deal. Holy cow. That's just something that wasn't factored in. Maybe not as much of a big deal, because if he has a way to remove the 8/7 with the 4/4 Queen's Captain, second time we've seen that come down today, on curve, the perfect answer. Give me cards, get rid of your big creature. And that may do it, because there's nothing for Anasi or Penitence to really steal at this point that could change anything. No draw. I think Beast of Burden is going to lose this one, unfortunately. That's 6, 8, 12, 16. Yeah. Evil easily has lethal, barring a prophecy or two. Doesn't look very likely.
This way.
Hidden Trail. That's the one you do not see very often, but I guess in a support deck that's not crazy. And does not get prophecies.
Nice try.
And goes down. So, I mean, that's how it goes. All right. I'm really not sure how this is going to go. We have Yukinu against another top 10 player here. Definitely on the back foot. His beseeching of Kain is well placed. We're hoping to see a comeback here. I mean, it's not much of a comeback. He's within 14, so it's certainly not out of
They will perish in flame.
the ordinary. If Seventh Eye has another,
I will not be on the
and he does essentially, and he's going to wipe out that half, so it's going to keep things interesting. But Yukinu has a guard and
Underestimate me.
Cliff Racer. Can play them both. Oof, this is rough. So Cliff Racer against the 2/2. Hive Defender. Oh no! And that is going to be so close. Not going to be able to finish it off on this turn.
See if you can outrun me. I doubt
Oh,
it.
nope, still not. Oh yes, Cliff Racer. Nope, it's going to be a one-off with Cliff Racer. He's counting on that 3/2 holding fast.
It has been my honor.
Let's see, does he have it? I mean, this is a short but tense moment here.
Prepare to die.
Okay, Seventh
You have my
Eye.
thanks. Let's shed
And-
some light
oh.
on the problem.
I don't know what the odds were of him hitting that, but clearly he felt confident enough to taunt about it. Use that for removal, and I was surprised we didn't see Hive Defender come down.
Worthy contest.
But
It has been my honor.
oh jeez. Okay, so Seventh Eye had lethal for days, apparently. Hive Defender would not have made a difference. And we've managed to finally queue into a game that is just starting. It is with Beast of Burden 86,
This one is destined for greatness.
who, as we saw, just came off of a loss a couple games ago, or maybe the last game, depending on how I decide to edit this, to a mirror monk.
I'll lead the way.
Now against Artemis Clyde Frog. And
This one
we will
will
see
need
how
its blood.
Movement Monk gets along. Clyde Frog. That's an interesting name. I don't know why that sticks out to me so much, but Artemis Clyde Frog. It sounds very bizarre, to be honest. Alright, so the Descent of Akatosh, Premium, is going to be able to tag face harmlessly. Doesn't break a rune in doing so. It's going to grow to a 3/3 with Breakthrough. Not too bad. I mean, against Telvanni, which, you know, is big on
I raise the spine of battle.
whatchamacallit, not removal. Silence, that's what I was trying to think of. So we'll probably see Descendant shifted over away. We may see Artemis Clyde Frog. I'm just going to say Clyde Frog, because I just think that's a lot more fun.
They are no challenge for the Kashi.
And ring out to get the Descendant out of the Shadow Lane there. Yeah. Alright, so unless Clyde Frog has a Shadow Shift as well, the Descendant of Akatosh will live to fight another turn at least, in theory. Sans Lightning Bolt, or any number of other maladies that Telvanni could deploy on this turn.
Do not vex me.
Ice Storm would be a pretty bad one, although that probably would have happened before this. Alright, and the Sanctuary Pet, much less fuzzy and adorable than the alternate art.
The hist shall heal you.
Interesting that it's shackling the 2/2 and not the 4/4. I wonder if I'm missing something here. I mean, Dune Smuggler is going to allow the 2/2 to draw cards. Oh, unless he just wants to make the trade there. Penitus or Execute, those are both great options here. And it looks like Beast of Burden's going to run away with this one.
This one is destined for great.
And Dune Smuggler can come down and shift. Oh, no, not even going to worry about it. Possibly playing around an Ice Storm, but... yeah. So it makes sense. It makes sense. Got Penitence for a guard, Monk Strike. Easily has lethal on board. Not enough mana for... or Magicka. Mana, goodness gracious. For Aelid Guardians. This is...
I live.
Try something.
not over
You
yet.
won't live to regret.
Oh no!
I bark and burn.
I missed Encounter Red Year from Jshadz. That is okay though. That's okay. Alright, so we may see Dune Smuggler, Swift Strike.
Keep moving.
And Swift Strike to close it out. Beast of Burden 86. Triumphing over Clyde Frog. Okay, we are sticking with this game. I know it looks ridiculous. I know it's far along. Alright, I am sticking with this game. I know it looks ridiculous. Kevin's sitting at 50 health total. And he's got a pretty good board, pretty good cards in hand. But he is up against a... as you can see, a workshop. Oh, he is also running Assemble Titan, but I don't see Workshop in his hand. So we're not calling foul just yet. Workshop is kind of a big deal here. But we know Big Red has it, so we will see what happens. That's kind of what I'm kind of seeing. Oh wait, no. Kevin only has, what am I thinking? I'm so sorry. I'm just now settling in. Kevin only has Assemble Titan because of Razzle-Madazzle. So that's why I want to stick with this. Kevin has enough health to ride the wave with Assembled Titan coming down, which I'm guessing looks like it was a Galen target. It doesn't tell me. Can we go back? Okay, I don't want to clutter the board here, but yeah. So my apologies, Kevin, for initially thinking that you were running like an Assembled Titan thing, whatever. This he's actually, as to my knowledge, has refined his Drain for Pain list. The use Drain as a kind of a weapon. He's refined that list from the tournament that you probably saw him play in, and apparently it is kind of transcended. It's become Super Saiyan. Those of you who would watch Dragon Ball Z. And so, based on the situation, based on the workshop, I think it's definitely something I want to keep an eye on. We know Big Red 17 is going to be able to abuse that workshop with Assembled Titan, but with only 3 cards in hand, if none of them are factotums, might not have the devastating impact we're used to seeing. Kevin healing up a little bit more. The 3/5 is going to be able to do some damage. Razzle-Madazzle is going to go down.
Can be reduced to
Pretty much the entire lane is going to go down. And we will see if Workshop can do what it normally does. I'm personally rooting to see it go down and go down fast. I don't think Kevin can remove it. I don't know if he's running any kind of support removal. But, even if Assemble Titan allows Big Red to stabilize momentarily, hopefully Kevin will be able to turn the corner with Ring of the Mirror or something of that kind. Sorry if any of my animus is leaking out. I resent Workshop. It's essentially a Night Mother, a very, very, very cheap Night Mother. That's the effect that it has, and not a big fan. But we probably will see a Gabble the Ordinator equipped to our Defender of the Main to take out the Assembled Titan. Big Red sitting on more Dwemer than Factotum, so at least right now we didn't see that huge swing. But obviously he went from pretty low health total up to almost full health. Okay, so use Gavel on 6-1. Symbol Titan, why not? Let's see what it does here. Okay, just dealing 2 health, gaining health to buff his. I like seeing Defender of the Main grow, or Protector of the Main. Sorry, same difference. I like seeing him grow. He usually gets removed every time I've played him. He gets removed very quickly. It's nice to see him be able to get buffed up, to see that drain, kind of giving him the extra attack. I wonder if I'll have to ask him if he's running the card that I play. It's like a 1/5, but it gets bigger every time you drain. Whatever you drain for, it gains in health. Always gets removed or silenced, but it's a fun card to see go off. It's kind of like a understated version of Protector of the Main with a little bit bigger high side. Might see Dawn's. No, there's no reason Dawn's Wrath here. 6-1 takes out the 2/5. Protector easily trades with the 0-1. Okay, we are going to see. I was going to say, I was wondering about Dawn's Wrath, but I don't know. I didn't know if there was enough threat in that lane to really justify. Look at Kevin sitting on 63 life. The one deck that could weather the storm of a workshop Titan. And I'm guessing Big Red is running it in those colors so that he can bring back the Titan. Has some Resurrection or Soul Tears or something in order to make sure that it is not gone and forgotten. I was about to say, right now, not much of a problem for the 11-4, but that's not the case anymore. Okay, kudos to the opponent for playing that card. You don't see that one a lot. It requires actions in order for it to be able to be mobile, so unless it gets silenced, it really is a dead. And Doggy Rot, boy, if he can hit, I guarantee you he's going to be pulling a Ring of Namira, and that, I wouldn't say that's game over, but that's pretty darn close. That's going to be a very...
Azora, give me strength.
And he besieges Azora. Help me, Azora, help me. You're my only hope. No, he is denied. Denied, unfortunately. Gosh darn it, there is no way around it. Unless he buys his time. No, okay, I thought maybe he was going to get a guard. Could he have gotten a guard? I don't know. Doggy is not going to be able to get that. And is going to die at the hand of the automaton. And unfortunately, probably miscalculated. I do it all the time because you just don't see regenerate all that often. Probably wasn't thinking, considering the fact that that was going to be a thing.
From the last living.
Hold on, he just died. How is he back again? Limit 1 per deck, right? Is that the random card that he got from? Shouldn't it should tell me where he comes from, right? I guess not. We know he was played earlier. I remember he was part of the Dawn's Wrath Purge, so I don't know. I mean, that's a heck of a pull if he was the random Dwemer that the 3/3, this guy put 2 random Dwemer. If that happened to be one of the random Dwemer, what a pull that was. Okay. This is turning into quite a slugfest. Although I think, again, like I said, Kevin's deck I think is well suited to the task.
My power is not to be underestimated.
Our foes will have nightmares about you.
He really needs his little kitty to make a push. Blood Pack Messenger. I should probably call him by his formal name. His messenger he can't see any more guards coming down here. If he does, it's going to be trouble. He needs those cards right now for sure. The only downside to the drain deck, and I even saw it in some of my games, is when you have your health total that much,
violence at my age.
you either...
Greetings from the last living.
Okay, so they're not Galand or Galland, however you want to say it. I missed. I'm probably going to figure this out in the edit, but right now I am very confused
Greetings from the last
as to how he's... Okay, I understand him coming down, but... Okay, so we're seeing a bunch of pudgy dwarves on mechanical limbs. It's creepy. It's disturbing. And this is some unfortunate stuff right here. The only good news is that the Scorpion is going to be able to get past that, no problem. And allow the Messenger to get in there. If nothing else to stick with there. But as I was saying, the downside is when you have that much health, you know, it's going to take forever for your opponent to give you more cards. Oh, Gray Fox could be huge here. What could he pull back? It sucks because the crux of this, of Big Red's deck, is all these, you know, neutral cards that really aren't of any benefit. So I think Kevin might be looking back. There really isn't anything great to pull back, unfortunately. Maybe a Symbol Titan, just if nothing else, to take it out of Big Red's hands.
Just forget about C. Everyone does.
Okay, no, it's going to go just for the pure card draw. I can't disagree with that. I mean, I think a Symbol Titan to just have the body would have been pretty decent, but it would have died to the 2/5 anyway if you played it in the field lane. So you could certainly argue that it's not a big deal. Oh boy, this could go for some time, depending on how tenacious Kevin is feeling. Because for Big Red to win this, he's got to wreck 80 health, 76 health now. That will expedite the process. So Big Red drawing into his late game at a crucial point. He's probably holding on a Territorial Viper to be able to destroy the 11/11. Because if it's able to get drained, that's going to be a bad time.
To be reduced to violence at my age. To be reduced to violence at my age. To be reduced to violence.
I've never been reduced to violence at my age, or to be reduced to violence at my age, in so much in one game ever. All right, so he does get a nice trade there. Vicious draw, vicious drew. The vicious, creepy looking thing.
To be reduced to violence.
You would think against a Dwemer deck, against a neutral, predominantly neutral deck, that Vicious would be an amazing pull, but it doesn't look like Big Red is running Halls. Unless, let's see if maybe he drew it before we came in. No, it doesn't look like he's running Halls. If he is, somehow he has not drawn it yet. How big is the deck here? I was supposed to be able to see that. We'll see this. Yagram has probably the most heartbreaking... Oh my goodness, and he has a draw engine here. Excuse me. Big Red does. This is one of those games, and when we see already, I'm flapping my gums, and Kevin's already down to 48, almost half of what he was when I said he's got a long way to go. So that just goes to show you all. And this is not, specifically for Kevin, but that's just something that I didn't think about when I first started playing, but people like Core Data and other players kind of pointed out. Drain is good against, you know, hard-nosed aggro that really can only make its push a solid push until about turn 10 and then has to concede. Because unless you can weaponize it, which is what Kevin is trying to do and what this deck is capable of doing with the wolf spawning things. Oh no! Big Red! With the I mean, you can't possibly run Invade, but I mean, between Mundus and Workshop, for me, it's the worst. But hey, Vicious will get some value here. Denise, this is for you. Vicious is going to come down and remove the most loathsome and detestable support in all of TESL. But yeah, a lot of times you see decks, they just run heavy drain with no real... Oh man, that Fact Totem's really just kind of getting that snowball value right now. And I'm afraid to say it, but it seems like... I mean, I'm hoping it's not the case, but I think Kevin is on the... He's going downhill pretty quick. I mean, with...
Nice try. Care to go again?
He's got some opportunities. Giant Bat can break... Oh, it's not going to... Still not going to do it. All right, so he's finding a lot of his draw as well. Excavate would be great if... I'm guessing he has not had Ring of Nimir removed. Nope. That's a hard thing. And Ring of Nimir is just so hard to get a hold of. Like every deck that I've tried to build around this, and that's why I think it's great. I don't think Kevin's deck is built around Ring of Nimir, but it is a pretty big factor. And having built decks like that myself, or at least that one, it's just so hard to, you know, everything you can try to do to make that a more likely pull it's just very difficult to make happen. So, Abner, he could trigger the 2/1 onto his Vicious Drag, but right now, it's just too much of a board. Unless he's got another Dawn Trath that he can pull. Looks like this is going to be the end of it.
Ah, Kashid likes these.
Another Vicious. Does he survive this?
I will return.
I mean, even with all the trades in the world. Let's see. That. So that leaves 4 in the Shadow Lane. 8, 12. Okay, so Lethal is off the board at the moment. He's not dead yet. Man, the value on the Fact Totems is just crazy. I mean, he is. I'm sure Big Red is running low on. I would think. Okay, so he's looking.
I will not be on the wrong side of history.
Going for the draw? Yeah. All right, so he's
You'll not be rid of me that easily.
He's got him, and he's not dead yet. But another one of these dynamos, I think we'll be able to swing it. This would be a heck of a comeback, but like I was saying, that's the one downside of the drain. You know, even when you run a deck that wants to weaponize it, that wants to make it as an offensive weapon, you know, you can drain to 100 and some. But ultimately, and that should do it. 7. No, that's 11.
To be reduced to violence at my age.
Does he have a lightning bolt?
Reduced to violence at my age.
This is a hard one. This is a hard one.
They won't even
We might see the Mechanical Heart, though. I don't know if that's going to be enough to that, and it might be enough, boy. Boy, wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, he really is just kind of scraping and clawing for... let's see. Finally gets rid of that that nuisance there. All right, so that's 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
This was a worthy contest.
That's pretty much exact lethal unless he gets a prophecy.
Well fought.
Looks like Big Red's got something big. He does run Halls of the Glimmer. And that is just an unfortunate situation of when your opponent is able to draw their late game
To be reduced to
at the right time.
violence at my
Sorry, Kevin,
age.
but hopefully we're going to catch some of your games tomorrow. Alrighty, and to round out the session, I'm just going to go ahead and run one game with Daedra that don't invade. As you can see here, it is a bunch of Daedra, but there is no invade in sight. It's actually done pretty well, I would say middling, in some of the games that I've played it in. I haven't really taken it on a ladder before. We're going to try it here, and we'll see how well it goes. But right now, we went from 13 or 14 people playing down to 5, and out of those 5, only 2 are actually mixing it up still. So, kind of winding down. I wanted to give this a shot before I called it quits for the day. We got to see some great games. Unfortunately, again, trying to balance it out, coming in kind of at the tail end or kind of in the middle of certain games, it made it a little bit hard. I think this video is going to be, when I put it on the timeline, it is going to be an hour and, oh geez, I do not want all that in our opening end. It's going to be an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and out of that, we probably have 45 minutes to an hour worth of actual gameplay because of how things work. So we'll just see how we can do against Destiny 35. Nothing to do on turn 1. Golden Initiate Oreo is going to be our... Oh, Ravenous. You would have been great one turn ago.
Citizen.
I didn't come here alone.
I don't care. I don't care if you came with an entire party. The point is, we're going to kick your butt.
Ita Oriel.
Let's go ahead and put that down as... you could argue that I should put that into the Shadow lane, but, you know, if we get 3 attack on it, I'm okay with that as well. Cool. That's kind of the best case with him.
My paws are quicker than your eyes.
Alright. Wait. Oh, no. So -2. We still don't get a favorable trade. Alright, let's go with this.
Ita Oriel.
She wants you to eat an Oreo. If they have Assassin's Ritual, that could really sting us quite a bit here. I don't think we're going to see the 3/4 Pilfer. We do see the 3/4 Pilfer. And I was about to say that probably...
Careful there, friend.
Yeah. Alright, well we got one hit with her. That's pretty good. He is going to come down next turn, I think, for now. Just do this. We've got all the life in the world. I just got through saying how having a ton of health is actually can be a liability at times. Hey, just pretty much the in essence, Assassin's Ritual. I do hate the spiders. Oh, and I hate Black Hand Messengers too. Wow. You have got all the stuff that I do not like. That is phenomenal. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get our Dark Seducer down.
Walk with our Lord.
What don't I want to do? I don't want another Black Hand. 7 cost. I don't care about Ice Storm. Let's get rid of 3. I don't want Sanctuary Pets or Black Hand Messengers. So we'll see what fun shenanigans our opponent has for us.
Out upon Too slow.
I mean, a guard would suck, obviously. That is not so bad.
Approach and be
Okay,
recognized.
so 3 guards is even worse. And that's pretty much going to be the end of it, I think.
Your blood stands forfeit.
We're going to get this guy down for a little bit more draw there. We're going to get Feasting Power down, sure. Okay, so that was kind of worst case scenario.
Out upon
Baron's Eye is going to take out the 7/5, allowing Sanctuary Pets and Blackhead Messenger to come down if they were holding on to that. Our opponent's back up to 23, so we're in a really not great place because we are, in theory, more aggressive. With Divine Fervor, we can have a favorable trade. Shining Saint can give us a favorable trade as well. The only thing we have going for us at the moment is that we have probably a good 3 runes to work with. And Blackhead Messenger, so I was vindicated in removing that from their... Ooh, that's good. I want to trade with that 4-1 if I can. But I'm guessing they've got more removal for that.
Too slow.
Okay, so this is a game of the ugliest persuasion. Not a really good one here. We kind of got...
By the 8th, they will meet their makers.
That's all good, though. It is all good. All right, well... Golden Saint's nice. And... this provides a value trade.
Not waste time chatting with mortals.
So, I mean, we're not out of it yet, but we certainly are not in fantastic shape. Especially if they put the tome on the Blackhand Messenger, which is what they're going to do.
I have you now.
Our opponent with a lot more cards in hand than we have.
Too slow.
And continuing to be able to get that value from the kitty cat. The Discerning Thief. So my inclination at this point is to just concede out of it because I mean I can't say I'm bored because our opponent has been kind of mixing it up, but it's pretty much the writings on the wall at this point. There's nothing special about this deck that would allow us to win. Although those will hold us in good stead in future turns. Goodness gracious, that's such an annoying little pop up there. Okay.
Too slow.
So our opponent cannot cycle and drain without giving us a card.
I don't know it all, but I'm.
That's never a good thing. Anytime you see Lynette come down, it's pretty much anything your opponent needs. So I'm guessing we're going to see. Oops. We're going to see a conscription or something obnoxious.
I have you now.
That we would much rather not see.
Too slow.
Haven't seen any of our lumbering ogrims or a lot of our bigger cards. We do have some reach in here, but we're just not seeing any of it right now.
You're going to pay.
All right, not a bad prophecy. Another prophecy there. We're making quite a turn here. Oh, really, dude? Really, dude? Let me guess, you've got the automaton guy? Alright, come on, man. Jeez Louise. Jshadz let me know this is probably his final game of tonight, so we're queuing in to see it and hopefully flush out the nasty taste of the last game. You know, I really don't fault my opponent for doing well, but Workshop, that's despicable. You have no honor, sir. You have no honor. And oh my goodness gracious, we may just see it. Please, Jshadz, I need you to win this one, buddy. I need you to win this one for me. I mean, thankfully you're sitting on an execute. I don't want to comment and ruin it, but thankfully you have the execute in hand. And you are just going to punish Pufit and his evade. So back to back, we see Workshop coming down in my game to kind of make things miserable, and now we're seeing invade. Earthbone Spinner, great pickup there, but Jshadz going for wisely opting to pull the execute instead of denying the 2-1 her bit of value there in the trade. Because really, aside from an invasion party, which Pufit could have, and I'm not deliberately mispronouncing the name just because of invade. I really, it's an interesting combination of letters there, but I think it's Pufit. But anyway, the opponent, the Chosen of Akatosh. All right, and that's pretty much it. Earthbone Spinner. Going to silence the guard, which is I'm sure what that's going to be. Morkel Gatekeeper. Oh no! Goes on the offensive. Morkel not going to be enough right now.
Close ranks, let nothing through.
But Jshadz with both Execute and Firebolt to clear the board should be able to close it out by next turn. Oh, and decides to hold on those. Interesting. I thought at least to get rid of Barbas just to be on the safe side, but there's the invasion party. So we are going to see at least 2 cards come down with, probably at least 2 cards with a bunch of random keywords, and we'll see if they can turn the tide. Fortunately, with Piercing Javelin and Earthbone Spinner, there shouldn't be a whole lot keeping Jshadz from his ultimate objective of denying Invade its invasion and providing a satisfactory end to the videos for today. Since my non-invading Daedra completely whiffed and were ultimately closed out by Garbage Workshop. RNG not helping you. Okay, well, no, yeah, it's ultimately not going to help. The Silence or Piercing Javelin. Which one will it be, Jshadz? Earthbone or
Meet your doom.
Piercing Javelin? Look.
It has been engaging hunt.
Jshadz and I, the first game we had, he actually gave me a taunt similar to that. Alrighty, so we get to end on a high note. Thank goodness, thank you Jshadz for letting me know this was your last game. Otherwise we would have had to end on my non-invading Daedra getting whooped by a workshop. To be fair, probably wasn't going to win anyway up to that point, but that definitely kind of put just the stink on it. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and just a PSA announcement. I know most of you probably can't change this or won't. Just know, there are many of you who I have conversations with, through our chat here, and you go offline as I'm typing my response. I am a little bit verbose, as you know, so I'm crafting these amazing messages. I'm writing these awesome, congratulations, and oh, here's what I saw, and this was great, and thank you so much, and you're offline. And it's like, oh, for crying out loud, can you just hang around for 30 seconds to give me a chance to finish my message? But anyway, just so you know, a lot of you, if you have gotten off, right after you finish a game or something or shortly afterward, know that I was writing you an amazing message, but you missed it because you logged off so quick. But that's okay. I understand. I mean, I do it myself, so just wanted you to know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching another great Friends session, and I will talk to you next time. Until then, keep playing.